So hello guys, it's me Kumar Sarangi, and today in this video we are going to talk about the various agreements and frameworks related to ecology and environment. So as you can see in your screen, important international environmental agreements, and if you want then you can take screenshots out of here so that it would be very helpful for you. What are environmental conventions? So conventions that focus on the various issues, for example climate change, stratospheric ozone layer, protection, air quality, chemicals and nature conservation. And conventions are tool for promoting cooperation and the development of international environmental law and actions. So what is the difference between the convention and protocol? So there is a typing mistake. A convention is a formal agreement between states and is usually an instrument negotiated under an international organization. A protocol is one of the ways in which a convention can be modified. The amendments by protocols are not binding on all the states that have ratified the original convention. So from here you have to see which is binding and which is not binding. So I would say from here you can take screenshot whichever you will feel necessary. So please subscribe if you have not yet, and there are a lot to come, and stay tuned for a lot of episodes which are going to come here. So brief about the environmental conventions. Ramsar Convention. It is called the Convention on Wetlands. It was adopted in the city of Iran, Ramsar in 1971. It came into force in 1975. Stockholm Convention. It is a convention on persistent organic pollutants. It was adopted in 2001 in Geneva, Switzerland. It came into force in 2004. So the pictures are made so that you can make a creative picture and you can recall it whenever it is required. CITES. It is a convention on international trade in endangered species of wild fauna and flora. It was adopted in 1963 and came into force in 1975. Convention on Biological Diversity. It is a convention for the conservation of biological diversity. It was adopted in 1992 and came into force in 1993. Bonn Convention. It is a convention on the conservation of migratory species of wild animals. It was adopted in 1979 and came into force in 1983. Vienna Convention. It is a convention for the protection of ozone layer and was adopted in 1985 and came into force in 1988. Montreal Protocol. It is an international environmental protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer. It was adopted in 1987 and came into force in 1989. Kyoto Protocol. It is an international protocol to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and was adopted in 1997 and came into force in 2005. UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, a treaty governing actions to combat climate change through adaptation and mitigation efforts directed at control of emission greenhouse gases that cause global warming, adopted in 1992 and came into force in 1994. Rio Summit. It is a United Nations conference on environment and development. It was held in 1992 at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. UNCCD. It is a United Nations convention to combat desertification. It was adopted in 1994 and came into force in 1996. Basel Convention. It is a convention on the control of transboundary movement of hazardous wastes and their disposal. It was adopted in 1989 and came into force in 1992. So the Cartagena Protocol. See, one thing that I would like to tell you, there is nothing that you can only rely upon these things. I would say you should learn more and more about all those things so that it will be very helpful for you in next whenever it will come in your any kind of examination that you are going to appear.